the button. Yes, making a video. Another inmendham production. Brought to you by... Anyway, the Modern Mystic posted a little thing about just, you know, whatever. It's not economics. It's an economic website, though. But anyway, not really directly on economics. So I just thought I'd relate that to some nihilist shit and just try to make this short and whatever. I'll say what I think. Anyway, I'm feeling a bit over the peak this morning. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, it's hard to... The peak isn't much of a place to be, right? I mean, the atmosphere is very thin, and you get a little wacky anyway, delusional. So it really doesn't matter whether you're almost up or almost down, you're still in trouble. I have plenty of tabs open, plenty of ideas, ways of putting them together for another post, but frankly, I just can't be bothered. Yeah, it is work. Living, dealing with all this shit. I feel OBT, over the peak is slipping away, and I don't know if I care. You know, that, you know. It is, I mean, even success is kind of a dangerous thing, right? Because then what? Oh, I successfully did this and that. I mean, it's like you finish your list, and then you're like stuck with no... Oh, my next agenda is tie my shoes more properly. You know, that doesn't seem like much of a priority. So anyway, so many, almost all subjects just run straight into the same problem. People don't care. People are stupid. People can't understand. People's brains are so full of shit, you know, and there's just no way. Their ears are clogged with shit. You just can't you can't yell it loud enough. You can't say it in the proper frequency to get through the bullshit that is barriering their head, whether it be religion or nihilism or any of this mumbo-jumbo bullshit. They just can't get anything. People are obnoxiously stupid. And they have no sense of, you know what I mean? This whole idea that they have no sense of their ignorance, which is really scary. You know, they just have done no work to know any of this stuff. I mean, none. They won't even read the pamphlet, let alone the book. And I'm not saying books are all that valuable, but I mean, there are books that are valuable, like scientific books or mathematics books or, you know, not the Nietzsche type book, which is just some asshole saying, everybody else is doing it wrong, so let's just be bugs. Oh, gee, that's profound. Wait a minute. No, it isn't. Oh yes, they care about themselves, but they don't care much for anyone else. Yeah, well, that problem just exists. I mean, that's the nature of the beast, you know, in a sense. So sure, and all you need though is a minimum amount of knowledge of the world to understand that, okay, I have to be, you know, it's just like this. Look, we do figure out to care enough not to piss on the sidewalk or shit on the sidewalk. So most of us are able to do some caring. Like, we'll care enough. Okay, I won't shit in your yard. I won't, you know, I won't deliberately just fart on the bus. I won't do a lot of things. So people try to moderate their offensiveness to some extent. So they care a little bit. But yeah, you can't ask much. You know, they can't be asked to do much. Yeah. And that's just because they don't understand. They don't understand how critically important it is that other people not be in a deprivated, nasty condition. They just don't understand that when that's happening, something bad is happening. And so that's it. So it's not really an issue of caring, though. I mean, caring is a silly word in a way, just because, yeah, it's not like I care, like in some positive way. You know, I don't care in some, well, yeah, I have to. It's logical. I'm obligated. You know, it's like Mr. Spock probably wants to go back to Vulcan and fuck the bitches. But, you know, it's okay, this is the duty of being a smart guy, is that I have to try to explain to all the dumbasses how to do it right. You know, it was my understanding that poor people cared for each other, and I think that is still right in poor countries. Well, he concedes in the comments that maybe he doesn't know shit about poor people because he never lived among them. But yes, I don't think that's a reality. Poor people will sell their grandmother for, a box of candy corn. They sell out all the time, so they're just as bad. But Western cultures blows that apart. Caring turns inward. Others are now competitors. Yeah, well, that just goes back to being stupid. So, I mean, again, this idea that we don't really understand that competitions that actually don't create something of value in the end are stupid. And that the only kind of competitions we should have should be constructive, like where everybody is improved by the experience. And I know that sounds a little Reagan-esque, rising all boats. But what the point is that in terms of human character, it's possible to raise all the boats. There's no obligation for me to have high character for somebody else to have low character. Where in economics, theoretically, there really is an obligation. If I have more, somebody else is going to have to work to make it. I can't have more for free. There's no free lunch in economics. Somebody has to make the value. It's just a fact. And if I'm taking value, pie, if I'm taking pieces out of the pie, somebody has to bake the pieces. Just the truth. So, it's a little different. Anyway. Alright, I blame television because I don't know any better. Yeah. But that this is the key thing, right? Culture is just memes, right? So now we're back to this meme thing. But I mean, it's a meme virus. And unfortunately, this is part of the too stupid thing. It's like their democracy is incomplete. They haven't done this thing where they've actually have one man, one vote, and where we actually have choices. We've instead had this compromise of party politics that's completely unconducive to giving you what you want, which is representation. So we're represented either black or white. We're given two choices, Democrat, Republican, and then those two end up making deals with each other and turning into some sort of gray shit that has no chance of being the color I am. So I don't get any representation. So we've destroyed democracy because we're too stupid to do it right. So we still have the 1770 version of democracy, which is basically an outhouse. And we could easily make a fully functional, well-plumbed bathroom. But no, it doesn't happen because people are just too stupid to understand the little simple Lincoln log kind of instructions for building something. You have to actually follow the directions a little bit. There's rules you got to follow. You can't just stick Legos on top of Legos. You have to have a plan of some kind. And they just hate having plans. Let's see. But they're just stupid, ignorant, full of, it's not even ignorant. They're blocked by bullshit. And so back to the argument about that is what's television. The argument is this meme thing, and it's controlled by this pop culture bullshit. So they take the lowest common denominator and they elevate it to being the icon, and they say this is what we want to be, the lowest common denominator. That's not what we're striving to be. So the only thing Nietzsche was right about is the fact that, well, yeah, if you iconize lowest common denominator, you're just going to create a bunch of mediocrity. So, but the solution isn't to become a bug. The solution is to become better. Yeah. And to somehow become good enough where we can actually communicate to the ignoramuses and get the ignoramuses to actually catch on that they're stupid and admit they're stupid and tell them to sit in the damn seat and shut the fuck up and let the people who know how to drive the fucking bus drive the bus, you dumb fucker. So if you don't know why you're voting or what to vote for, don't fucking vote. Don't get in the goddamn way. Asshole. Alright, we have forgotten how being human is, and it's Google. It's the whole Google thing. Popularity breeds popularity. This is not merit-based elevation. And it should be merit-based. It's just popularity-based. It's virus-based. It's nonsense-based. And it's being controlled by the dumbest, stupidest people in the world. The whole marketing industry relies on it. The only thing that has value to them are these 7 to 15-year-olds who'll piss money away on shit. And they're running the world. Ugh, fuck. On welfare checks. Anyway, we have forgotten how being human is quite a nice feeling because we could do things for others. I don't know if being human is quite a nice feeling. I don't know. I've never really, never really felt that. The more human I am, the more not nice it feels. In the sense of being human, in the sense of being conscious of the real implications of what I'm part of. So the less human I am, the more animal I am. So I mean, being human is the tricky word. Yes, then I can feel like if I'm just running or something, well, that feels okay. We now only have frustration that something is missing. I always felt something substantial was missing. Like, where's the idea that unacceptable should be unacceptable, not acceptable? Yeah, that's one. That something is giving. I don't know what that is. Giving is what makes being human good. Yeah, I mean, once you understand some of this concept, that works. Once you understand that, fixing problems is a good feeling. Like repairing something. So, I mean, I've spent most of my life fixing things, and it feels really shitty when, it don't happen. But when it does happen, and especially when it happens in like those really great ways where all I have to do is walk up to the thing and say, "Hey, work better, you stupid piece of shit," and then I do like some Fonzie thing, and it works. Yeah, I've actually had days like that where all I had to do was point at something and say, "Work better," and it did. I know it sounds crazy, but it happens. Anyway, giving is what, so there's nothing else that does. Yeah, well, it's true. Fixing things is fun. So if you can do that, it is a good time. But, fucking vaginas is a good time, too. Anyway, so here, I think there's some more stuff here. There are things going on that I don't think anyone can explain. It's like the system is infected by people who have forgotten what it is like to be a happy human. Now, see, I don't think they've forgotten anything. It's just that we haven't maturated completely. So we have this stupid archaic history full of errors, full of bullshit, all this archaic nonsense, the religion, the spirituality, the bibble-babble, the blah-blah-blah. Then we have all these fucking Nazi German bastard philosophers making up all kinds of stupid ontology words and other kinds of bibble-babble and you can't make an ought from an is. If something is bad, it doesn't mean it's bad, it's a neutral. I mean, this kind of idiotic nonsense. You're just like, what the fuck? That's fucking idiotic. They actually wrote that in a book, and somebody actually remembers this asshole's name. He said something completely idiotic, and you assholes remember his name? Life is futile and stupid. So be a fucking praying mantis. Fuck you! No! Well, anyway. For as long as humans have been human, that happiness is always found in society. I mean, this is all like, you could do this with metaphors to other animals and stuff. There's some animals that just go rogue, and they do perfectly fine. They just say, fuck this, I'm not going to be part of that shit. Damn naggy bitches. Anyway, there is no such thing as individual human happiness. Well, that's sort of kind of true, but not really. There sort of is individual human comfort. So, as individuals, we can be comfortable or uncomfortable. We can obviously have advantages that make life, this is okay. Settle in, have a nice little nap. So I'm just saying this is stupid, but there's no such thing as individual. That I would agree in the context of any serious conversation about the whole of reality. Yes, there's no individual that can have any meaning. The word individual can have no meaning if you understand that the machine, the playing field, is just not an individual playing field. It's just not. There's lots of individuals, and you just can't play this game. There's only one, that I'm the center of the universe, or I am the universe. That is just so fucking silly. So obviously this individual happiness thing doesn't mean anything, especially in a world where, like I said, the economic thing bleeds into it in the sense that you're really not going to be able to acquire comfort unless somebody else lost. I mean, whether you're fighting over the woman and you win, whether you're fighting over other resources like food or comfort or housing or location or whatever, somebody wins, somebody loses, and that's just the truth of it. And so every bit of comfort you glean usually has to be made out of somebody else's flesh, and that's not good, or an animal's flesh. I am feeling like I will settle for being unhappy, but then I guess I always have. Yes, well, being happy just always seemed kind of irrelevant. I mean, my expectations were, try not to be horribly miserable. Try not to be on fire. You know, try not to be dying of something. You know, I haven't really tried to do much else than avoid the worst of life can dump on you. You know, I've been looking at the branches and the trees, you know, monitoring the pianos that are over my head and the swords of the Damocles. So, yeah, that's sort of been my priority, is just stay out of really big trouble, if you can. And that's comforting in a way. So having low expectations does make life easier. So if you sit in the desert for a while and just say, oh shit, this really sucks, I'm really hungry and it's hot and it's horrible, and blah, blah, blah. And then any oasis will feel like paradise. So, and you have to kind of keep yourself modest that way. So you always do have to sort of keep yourself grounded in the sense that, what do I really need? And don't I really have it pretty good? And, you know, it's not like you should always be walking around all day long saying, well, at least I don't have a broken leg. Well, at least I don't have a broken leg. Well, at least I don't have cancer. Well, at least I don't, you know. It's helpful to keep you not too miserable. But, yeah, who wants to live that way, right? I mean, in principle, it seems kind of stupid that the only thing that's keeping me comfortable is the idea that somebody's more uncomfortable. That I can compare my circumstance to something worse and say, shit, it could be worse. I mean, that's kind of a lame way to live. So anyway, this guy, Axel 1 million, I think it's, I don't know, it's a picture of Jesus. I don't know what good that is. And he talks about what Buddha said. Life is suffering, but not always. Not always, but often. And he says, look, and Nietzsche says, embrace the suffering. Well, this is just idiotic. Embrace brain tumor, embrace. Look, and Nietzsche was a miserable, I mean, he lived a miserable existence. And it's still silly for you to even say embrace the suffering when, you know, later in his life he was lamenting over, he was whining over a lost love. You know, and it was killing him and driving him insane. I mean, so, come on. Yeah, you know. I think you misrepresent Nietzsche. I don't really think he wanted to embrace suffering. I really don't. I think he was just cognizant of the idea that if you had your awareness of it can make you powerful for just the appreciation of averting it. But I don't think he thought you're going to be brilliant if you go ahead and break your leg and walk with a limp for the rest of your life. So there's a little bit about poor people and blah blah blah, but it doesn't really matter. So anyway, memes are the problem. That would be the argument, my argument. And these cultural memes, and so there's sort of this subtle argument that this is the way humans are, this is the way humans will be, this is that we can't be anything better, nothing will ever blah blah, and I think that's just all wrong. I don't think the process of reclamation is all that dramatically difficult. I don't think understanding is that elusive. It's certainly not terribly complicated, the truth, and it's just the obstacles, the obnoxious, obstinate obstacles that people put up to that truth that are the problem. So that brings up these nihilists who are they just all have this, you get this sense of, you know, it's just so ironic because they use this terminology against other people, but you know using adolescent angst, you know, as a way of describing people who have sincere recognition of suffering in the world. And they're the adolescents. They're just a bunch of, you know, punks, you know, with punk music and punk attitude. Just this rebellious, nihilist cunts, you know, just this kind of, I just make a lot of noise, I just do a lot of complaining and yelling. You know, and it's like, what the fuck is that about, jackass? You're telling me you have this wonderful, beautiful philosophy that allows you to see suffering and see nothing. You don't see any pain in the world, and yet you have all this anger and frustration and irritation. You know, you're not singing Tiptoe Through the Fucking Dead Corpses. You know, if I was a nihilist, I'd say tiptoe through the dead Jews. Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter anyway. I mean, let's go rape some bitches. I mean, why the fuck would I be doing this fucking angsty, complainy, whiny, bitchy? So anyway, so this asshole, I mean, can't even write, right? Anti-Lism is doomed to fail thanks to reality that humanity will never overcome its natural urge to reproduce. Human assholes who are anti-natalists and pro-natalists, and the futility of the anti-natalist cause. This is not even a rational sentence. So they have a natural urge to produce philosophies in people that are futile. Oh, okay. No, I don't think they do. They have a natural urge to reproduce is just a silly concept, right? So right even there, you can't even get that right. There's no natural urge to reproduce. You have a natural urge to fornicate, to fuck. You don't have any natural urge. Have you ever? I don't think you ever have, really. Maybe you haven't had too much real sex. So, but I don't think when you were even, I mean, do you masturbate thinking about babies coming out of vaginas? I mean, do you really think about pregnant women when you're fucking one? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I can't wait till the baby comes out, or that I'm making a baby. Is that really what you're thinking? That's what you just said, shithead. We can't overcome the natural urge. Yeah, we have a natural urge to have sex, and then we have the intelligence to know, hey, you can wear a condom, no problem. Not a big deal. You can get a vasectomy, no problem. Not a big deal. You can use all kinds of spermicides and myrmicides, and no problem. So really, I mean, I'm supposed to take you seriously, little fucker? You can't even get that one right. I mean, it's a pretty fundamental description of reality, and you can't get it right. I've never had a natural urge to reproduce. Silly person. It's like a salmon having... Do you think salmon swim upstream because they want to reproduce? You think that's really what they're after? Fucking idiot. So, in line with this whole glib, rebellious, I'm whatever, Aspergered philosophy. I'm cool, I'm Aspergered. If you got a beef, then you better step up, bitch. Hollywood Undead ain't nothing to fuck with. I don't know what that. It's sweet, sweet. This guy, and then all he just says sweet. I mean, it's fucking Cartman. The guy's a fucking cartoon character. Sweet, 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 sweet. Grow the fuck up. Alright, in the years on YouTube that inmendham has, what has inmendham achieved? It's a little complicated. He has gathered a loose mob, encouraged them, I haven't encouraged shit, them with the mentality of John Hart. Yes, there's lots of people that already had the intelligence to know that, hey, I personally think suffering matters, and there's absolutely no reason for me to think it doesn't matter when somebody else is experiencing it. That would be absolutely silly. That'll be Gary's great legacy to the world. Yeah, I don't know. That's really challenging, huh? But anyway, yeah, I'll argue that consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, and addiction will live a lot longer than Matthew shit. Anything you ever produce, fuckhead. Precious commodities controlled by crude forces. I think that line will be written on more pieces of paper than anything you ever produce, fuckhead. The world will be a little more bitter and a little stupider thanks to Gary. Yeah, okay, stupid in what sense? Could you actually provide a stupid quote? Actual description of something Gary has described as reality that is stupid, retard. Because every one of the things you have when you ever made any real argument You haven't made any argument that has any power whatsoever. You get totally trounced by logic, asshole. I mean, what do you have on your side? Nietzsche and Hume. You don't have any fucking argument, shithead. And his reducing reality to banal slogans. Well, again, you say that, but again, prove it. Demonstrate. How is it not consumption, reproduction? How is addiction not fundamentally all we have as a psychology? And how is parasitism not essentially the entire function on an island planet? The organisms learn to eat each other. Fact. Including hatred in his dim bulb fans, whatever that means, and implying that these fans should feel superior. Well, again, I don't know where you get that kind of crap, asshole. I mean, people are arguing from a position that where they have actually thought about what they're saying and are quite confident. You somehow think people should just talk about ideas as if they're fucking fantasies, and therefore shouldn't have any sense of right or wrong. Well, that's your idiocy, idiot. I don't open my mouth and say shit unless I'm pretty damn sure what I'm saying is fucking right, asshole. I have what's called a rationality filter, stupid fuck. Anyway, for condemning anyone who disagrees with the way and the truth according to Gary. Well, it's not according to Gary. It's according to a logical statement made. Don't you see? You call it a banal slogan, and yet you don't understand that that slogan is a truth statement. It's a description of reality. You could refute it, and yet you don't. So it's not the disagreeing with the world according to Gary. It's disagreeing with idiots who say, hey, I don't like that truth, but I have no fucking argument to defeat it. That's bullshit, fucker. And you have no counter-argument to the argument that you sure as fuck can find oughts all over the goddamn place when it's your nuts hanging over the goddamn fire, and somehow you can't find the ought when somebody else's nuts are hanging over the fire. And that's what makes you an imbecile, fuckface. Your face does look like it's been fucked. Anyway, just saying. Some of them even openly say their cause is doomed. Well, that's kind of stupid of them. I mean, it's obviously I got here without even trying. And if somebody would have just given me a tiny bit of philosophical jargon when I was 7 years old, I certainly could have said, oh shit, that's so right. I mean, I've certainly already observed that life seems preposterously unfair, and it seems to have elements that are insanely unacceptable. So, I mean, that seemed obvious already. So why do they continue with it? Well, again, most of them don't think it's doomed. And, frankly, it's just stupid for you to say, you know, Joe asshole, 1% of the soldiers think we're going to lose the war, therefore we should stop fighting the war. No, I don't think so. And even if I thought we were going to lose the war, I would still say, well, if there's a chance we're going to win, you still have to stay in it and fight it. Because you are doing that unacceptable thing. The alternative is unacceptable. You're saying something's unacceptable. You're saying you're going to just say, it's unacceptable, and the only solution is I'm dead or it's fixed. But there is no living with it. Hate addicts just need a daily dose of hate. Well, fuck you. That's not what it's about. And you can just you can imply something like that, but again, you can't prove there's any of that in my character, asshole, or in their character, asshole. You're the one who seems full of hate with your snarky little weaselly fucking rag comments on people's videos. You seem like the hate monger, motherfucker. The insulting, debased, fucking moronic arguments that you make, nothing built out of anything, and you don't even have the balls to make a video, you fucking weasel. You don't put anything out, you don't put anything up, you don't put anything on the line. You're just a fucking weasel, a weak weasel. Someone else to denounce every day. Well, frankly, there's a ton of shit out there worthy of denunciation, you jackass, and just because you think all outcomes are the same, which is retarded, fuck you. Just one more hate fix to get them through the day. Well, again, you keep implying that they're living on hate, and what they're really living on is fear of stupidity. You are a frighteningly stupid motherfucker. As Dickens would put it, want and ignorance. That's all you got. That's the enemy of the human race. Want and ignorance. That's the thing that's going to sink the fucking boat. Or it already has sunk the functionality. So Schadenfreude with the added kick of knowing they're always right. Well, frankly, if you don't know you're right, you really should keep your mouth shut. Alright. So you nailed it. Inmendham his followers like a cult. If anyone disagrees with them or exposes their shit, we didn't. What have you exposed, asshole? You made a video. You didn't make one rational, coherent challenge to a single premise of the argument. You just said something stupid like, I want to talk philosophy from a non-meaningful conversation point of view. I want to talk about outcomes that don't matter. Yes, I believe it doesn't matter what the outcome is. I don't think there's anything called an improved outcome or a better outcome, but I think we should have a conversation about it. Why would I do that? If I accept your premise, why would I waste my time talking to you? Why would I do a goddamn thing with you? I have no interest in you, you stupid jackass. Why would anyone give a rat's motherfucking ass what you had to say if it wasn't somehow relevant to some kind of outcome that somehow had meaning? If the conversation isn't going to produce anything but you wanking and me totally saying this is uninteresting, why would I bother? Why would I bother having conversation when I could go play a video game if conversation produces nothing of value? What of value does conversation produce in your world, you idiot nihilist fucker? You think there's no such thing as an improved outcome, and you're going to waste your time blah, 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 talking about what matters. You don't think anything matters? Let's talk about what matters. No, sorry. That is insane. Let's talk about your personal food choices and how I can better help you get more of what you want. Why would I do that? Alright, anyway. With hatred and wishes of suffering upon non-believers. No, they wish you get what you fucking deserve, which is the same neglect you would impose on everything else. They're all filled with hatred, just like their leader. Well, again, you can keep saying it's hatred. I call it fear. A justifiable fear of stupidity and what damage it can do. The human animal is a fucking weapon-equipped monster. And when it's set loose with a I can't possibly make things worse agenda, that's scary as fuck, you motherfucker. So yeah, you're a scary fucker. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Ignorance is ugly and frightening. So fucky you-y, idiot-y. But I mean, he just has this whole video is just a lament about, I went into a room and I wanted to talk about meaningless nothing. And they all wanted to have some conversation about relevant and meaningful subjects. And I don't want to do that. Sweet. Fucking idiots. Anyway, nothing to say, right? Okay, that's enough. Till next time, such. Have a nice day, and whatnot. Go ahead and try anyway, right? Can't hurt to try. Don't try too hard, though. Yeah, because that just sets you up for failure. Yeah. Maybe just take a nap. Yeah. Safe. Safer. That's all we have is safer. Anyway. Till next time.